And what is going on, guys? It's your host KSTTV here again. And man, it feels like it's been such a long time since I've covered both Crimson Desert and dokev. Now, the reason why I'm talking to you guys today, or I want to spark a bit of a discussion to say the least, is that there's a couple of things that have happened as of recently. I haven't covered both of these games in almost a year or so, since they were both announced at their respective game awards back a year or so ago. So I'm coming to you guys today to inform you that Pearl Abyss is delaying both Crimson Desert and dokev, but dokev is getting the more harsher pushback since it's getting pushed back all the way to 2024. And Crimson Desert actually was supposed to release as of this year, but it's being delayed until 2023. Now, I want to talk about it thanks to DualShockers in their article that they've dropped, but let's do a little bit much of a deeper dive into this. Now, there is another thing that I've seen up of late, is that the talk of Crimson Desert becoming an MMO, and how it's not an MMO, and I think it was just a lot of misuse of information. So from as of right now, since there is a change, is that this game would not be an MMO. So yeah, I just want to clear it up and use my voice and talk to my community. Crimson Desert is not going to be an MMO. Just to clear it up, it is not. The devs have reiterated that the game will still be an open world action adventure RPG game. So, keep that in mind. But let's jump into the article. So, DualShockers have said that, of course, publisher Pearl Abyss has recently shared new details about its upcoming projects, which, like I said, Crimson Desert was supposed to drop as of this year, and dokev is now being dropped to dokev is being dropped as of 2024. Crimson Desert is now being released until the second half of 2023, so almost into Q3 and Q4 of next year. Which, in my honest opinion, is quite sad, to say the least, because I was hoping for, I was insanely hyped for both of these games. Seeing this was no longer a prequel to Black Desert, but its own new game, but it's set in the Black Desert, world. Seeing, the way that everything's played out, I was ecstatic. I was hyped for it. I rode that hype all the way till even now. Then we have dokev, which it caught me with the amazing music, that K-pop style music, and the colorfulness. It definitely seemed like a nice little game to just, sit back, relax, and have fun. But now we have to wait almost a year and 2 years for the other game. So for what we were saying, it says, on the other hand, Crimson Desert is an MMORPG that was first considered a prequel to Black Desert. Now, that would have been an interesting take since it is set in the same world. But I did realize that I could see where they wanted to do its own new identity, because they don't want it to be exactly tailored to the MMORPG Black Desert. And this is now being a Crimson Desert and its own new story, own new characters, just in the same universe. But even though it has been delayed, the game is still, both games are still pushing its roadmap, so that it will still continue its roadmap all the way out into 2023 and make sure it is ready for 2023. They also wanted to put most of the development into Black Desert as well, since I know Black Desert has been, releasing a lot of content, but because they noticed that pushing Crimson Desert into next year, that will make their crunch time a little bit worse, because dokev was also supposed to release next year. So having two major IPs dropping right next to each other, one game's going to take the shorter end of the stick, which I'm actually happy they're separating it. Since Crimson Desert was the first game on their list of creating, they just chose to release that first. dokev being the second, they kept it and just pushed it back furthermore. And now, because of the long wait and the basically all Pearl Abyss has to really work with, this is mainly Black Desert being their best game they have. But from what I'm seeing, they have lost a few company shares, and which would be another reason contributing to the delaying of the upcoming titles. which they are probably really banking on these two games to really help them, because as you can see, like Black Desert, a good MMO. It has its, its problems, its little shortcomings, but still, like, they need something fresh, especially when players have been waiting since the first ever announcement of it years ago. You can't keep people waiting on. It's like same thing that happened to New World. New World received a bunch of delays, and the hype train was like, it was there, and then delay, hype train again, delay, hype train again, delay, to the point where it became agonizing, and a lot of people were starting to die down from the legitimate hype of New World. Then it released into a poor condition. So I want them to definitely take their time with Crimson Desert, make sure it, they could get everything they needed to do, and make sure it releases in a very good condition. Make sure, if it's going to be free to play, if it's going to be a buy to play, we don't know. We want it to be a good game. But they're saying Crimson Desert received a brief gameplay trailer of last year, which showcased the game's outstanding visuals, despite targeting a launch of last generation consoles. Now, with that being said, delaying until next year, this game might be prepared for PS5, as well as the new Xbox Series X and S, and any newer built PCs in the past 2 to 3 years. Especially with us having the 4090 releasing, the 4080 coming out, AMD's new graphics card, Intel's 13th gen processors, as well as AMD's Ryzen 7000 series dropping as well, with the DDR5. Yeah, I can definitely see that. And we, of course, have Unreal Engine 5 already released. So they definitely have time to make this a very good game. So they're really banking on Crimson Desert and dokev to really be the saving grace for Pearl Abyss as a company. Their shares have already dropped. And I'm actually quite happy. I'm like, I would rather a game be finished than unfinished. So if I have to wait for it, that's perfectly fine. I don't mind putting money into the game. But, don't let us players spend $60 or $50 or however much money for a game that's unfinished. Like, it's not fair to the community. It's not fair to your players. It's not fair to anybody. Or do half of the game and then put the rest of the game into DLCs. Don't pull the EA route type situation. So there's a lot to go into it, but yeah, it is sad news, but it's also great news because, that means gives us more time to have a better game. But yes, both Crimson Desert and dokev are delayed. If you guys want to check out the initial hype of both of these games, I will leave them top right hand corner as well as once this video ends, it'll be on the left hand side on the left card. But what do you guys think about today's announcements? What do you think about Crimson Desert and dokev being delayed? Do you guys think this is a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? Let me know in the comment section below. It helps out a lot. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel, as I will have more RPG related content focusing on both PC and mobile. So if you guys enjoy that and you like that, subscribe to the channel and like today's video so you can show your friends who are also Pearl Abyss fans, who are also waiting for Crimson Desert and dokev. Let them know that it's been delayed and they can see a little bit more in depth. But of course, by subscribing to the channel, I can give you all the information you need as it comes about. But as always, it's been your host, KSDTV, here at Chaotic Inc., signing out. Peace.
I make a manifest. I don't sleep, that's so weak, don't plan to rest. I'm from a hood where you die if you don't pack a vest. No culinary degrees, but whipping crack the best. Chefing, hard times taught lessons. Praying every night to pull up in park Benzes. What's my home is what you call trenches. You wouldn't last a day seeing life through all lenses. It's all tension, no sun, and rain and plenty. Full-time job, still can never make a penny.